Alrighty. Halo Reach, the last of the Bungie games and the prequel to Combat Evolved. So my thoughts on Reach real quick. I think it's a really good game. I would say it is my third favorite of the four Halo games I've recently replayed. And I think Noble Team is a really fantastic squad. And I like that we get Spartans that aren't Master Chief, and also that these are really well written Spartans that we can care about quite a lot. Um, and I would say I enjoyed most of the levels in this game. Number 10 is Winter Contingency. So, this level was good. I enjoyed exploring Reach quite a lot. But I would say overall, this one just felt the most boring, especially because the Covenant wasn't too much of a surprise. I feel like everyone knew the Covenant was going to be an enemy. Um, but it was still interesting to see how the Spartans handled it. At number 9 is Oni Sword Base. This level, I think, was really good, getting to defend Sword Base and then leaving to go destroy different areas of the Covenant and then coming back to the Sword Base to defend it once again. I think it was a generally simple level, but still pretty fun. Number 8 is the Package. So this one, I think, is the only level I had any minor issue with, and that being the snow segment in the cave where you just need to kind of defend the door. That definitely felt a little bit boring to me. But I would say overall, running through Sword Base and then getting that cutscene in the level with Cortana and Halsey, that was all really good stuff. Number 7 is Nightfall. This level to me was really good. I liked the whole, sniper at night sneaking around. Um, that being the general theme of the level. And then also working with the residents of Reach to fight the Covenant. I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed June a lot in this level. Um, and then also having to fight the Guta at the end was really fun. Uh, I really wish that we could have seen or fought or just experienced more, creatures that weren't the Covenant or the Flood in the Halo franchise. And I hope that maybe we will in any possible future games. So number 6 is Lone Wolf. Um, this level is, the last one that Bungie did. It's the conclusion to Reach and the conclusion to Bungie's era of the Halo franchise. Yeah, Lone Wolf is really good. I think thematically, story wise, and just what it is as the end of basically the series. I really like in this level when you're playing through it and then your weapons display goes away and your screen is cracked and the situation just feels less and less hopeful as you're playing as Noble 6. Um, and then, of course, we end off with the really sad and tragic death of Noble 6. And being that he is the lone wolf, he does die alone, which is unfortunate. Number 5 is Exodus. I think this is the perfected level of, defending the city or defending Earth, kind of how Halo 2 and 3 have. I really like, the jetpack segments and, rescuing civilians and getting them on the different carriers. Um, really, it feels like a good boost of confidence in yourself and probably Noble 6 coming off of the previous level and how tragically that one ended. Number 4 is New Alexandria. I really enjoyed this level quite a lot because we fly around. I always love flying segments, except in Halo 4. I wasn't a huge fan of that one. We fly around The different locations have major battles, which I really like. And I would say definitely of all of these, my favorite was fighting the four hunters in the club. That was definitely really fun and really cool. Um, and I would say I feel perhaps partially the reason why New Alexandria is so high up is this time, and I had seen this online, and I finally looked up how to do it, was I completed the Easter egg where I don't remember the name of it, but the helicopter you're flying, and then the Banshee, you overtake them, and you press the button at the top of the skyscraper, and then fly through the ring, and then you can turn them into a pelican and a phantom. That was super fun. First time I've ever done that. I really enjoyed it quite a lot, and it was just super fun to like fly the pelican and the phantom for the first time ever. I really had an absolute blast with that one. And number three is the Pillar of Autumn. Oh, New Alexandria ends with the shocking and sad death of Cat, which I almost forgot to mention. I think Cat's death was handled really well, and it was really sad to see her go. And I think that was a really good cap off to the New Alexandria level. Number three, the Pillar of Autumn. So this one again opens with pretty much death, with Carter dying, and we get sort of noble team saying goodbye to Carter, and then jumping out of the ship, where we get the vehicle segment with the ATV, which I personally thought was really cool. I love driving that little thing, the mongoose. That's what it is. And then we enter the canyon segment, which to me wasn't the most fun. I never really have liked fighting drones. And then after this, we get the scarab showing up, and it's an impossible situation. And then we get the death of Carter, crashing his pelican into the scarab, and going out in such a respectable and honorable way, saving his team. I really love Carter's death. Really, all of the Noble team I think was handled really well. Um, and then the next half of the level, we enter this massive battle portion to get to the Pillar of Autumn to deliver Cortana. Um, which I think I really like this segment a lot. I like the huge open scale battle, and then moving through the different corridors, eventually fighting hunters to get to the end where you got to defend um, the gun and wait for keys to show up to give him Cortana. Personally, that segment felt a little boring. I think it was handled better than Halo ODST's ending was. But then, of course, unfortunately, at the end of this, Emil is killed. Uh, he was definitely my favorite member of Noble Team, but he definitely went out in a really cool way. And then, of course, destroy the Covenant carrier, uh, and the Pillar of Autumn makes it out, and thus starts our Combat Evolve journey. I really liked overall seeing the ending of this game transition and put all the events into motion that would start Combat Evolved. Number two is Tip of the Spear. So I really love the opening to this level, with like the huge battle scale segment. I thought it was super cool. And then also, this one just felt the most consistently fun with, destroying the different guns and then eventually making it to the bigger tower, destroying that. That was super fun. And then I love the cutscene where Noble Six makes the jump, and then him and George grab hands and they fly on out of there. And then, of course, this level does have a sour end with our big ship being destroyed, which transitions in, I feel, nicely to my favorite level, the Long Night of Zeldas. I think from a level perspective, this is the best one. And I also think from a story perspective, this is the best one. For me, it has everything. Um, of course, as I talked about in Halo CE and 3, I love the beach battles. This one opens with, in my opinion, a great beach battle. Trying to get your way to Oni's sword base to fly the saber. This was super fun. I love the saber combat section. I think it is probably the best flying segment of any of the Halo games. And then just being able to fly the saber in space and defend the station, and then eventually raid and invade the Covenant cruiser. I really like that too. Just the whole saber portion is one of my favorite portions in Reach. And then, of course, what I liked about this, I guess, cruiser battle segment more than the one in Combat Evolved in Truth and Reconciliation was this one felt simpler. You know, it was more like three big open rooms. Um, and again, what I liked about Halo 2 having that sort of zero gravity feel when you jump. So this one felt a lot more open and expansive, and also I think short and sweet. Um, and then, of course, this level unfortunately ends with the death of George. And, real quick, since I finished talking about these levels and what I enjoy, I want to go into Noble Team's deaths. Um, sort of which ones I would like to rank them and get my thoughts on them. Of course, June doesn't die. Um, and I have read the comics, so I know like where June goes in life after the events of Reach. So at number 5 is Carter. Uh, I like the meaningful, how meaningful his death was, and seeing him go out with the ship. Uh, his one to me just felt the least impactful because we open the level with him, dying, and then Noble Team says goodbye to him. But still, I think it's fantastic to see him save Noble Team in the end and go out like a real hero. Number 5 is Emil. Um, to me, honestly, Emil's death felt more badass than sad. It definitely was shocking to see him, get stabbed through the chest with an energy sword. But then, he pulls out his knife and just stabs the elite right in the neck. And then they go tumbling down. And I was like, dude, that's incredible. Like, that's one hell of a way to go out. Um, and number 3 is Noble 6. And this is sort of just because of, like, how sad this one felt, him being all alone. But I feel like his was arguably the most important because he has the gun, as he says, and he defends the Pillar of Autumn as it leaves, unfortunately, leaving him behind on Reach as they glass the planet. Number 2 is Kat's death because this one was sudden and I feel like it hurt. I personally really liked Kat. Um, and the first time playing through, I was so shocked that she died. And it really is just shocking. I mean, just running across and she gets sniped. It's crazy. Um, but I feel like after Kat's death, it just sort of seems apparent to me that like the rest of Noble Team wasn't gonna make it. I'm surprised June did, honestly. Um, just because I don't know. I mean, we then just lost two, and it's like, okay, our Noble Team's probably not gonna make it out of here. And the number 1 is George, and I feel like his was the most shocking because it was the first one. He talks about like good news and bad news. We got to make the jump, but the bad news is like I got to stay behind. And George has really felt like the saddest because he really seemed like the nicest, like the gentle giant of Noble Team. And then, of course, I feel like the real sting to this one was that in the end, his death meant absolutely nothing as more Covenant cruisers and carrier ships showed up. And I mean, he sacrificed himself for Reach, but it amounted to absolutely nothing. And I think that's why George probably has the best death in Halo Reach. But still, I think all five of them were handled great, and I loved all of Noble Team. And yeah, that's going to wrap up my thoughts on Halo Reach and the sort of end of this little Halo segment that I've done. Bye, guys.